Your fast charge slowed to a crawl, and you blamed this charger. But the real fix was sitting in your route settings the whole time. We all want the fastest stop with the least fuss. Preconditioning, warming, or cooling your battery before a DC stop is the secret that actually delivers that speed. But many drivers preheat manually at the wrong time, wasting energy and getting poor results. In this video, I'll show you the hidden settings that make preconditioning work. Explain why navigation-based preconditioning beats manual tricks, and give exact numbers you can use to shave minutes off a 10 to 80% stop while protecting your battery pack. Preconditioning is simple in idea and tricky in practice. The battery chemistry has a sweet temperature window, usually about 15 to 35 degrees C for most modern lithium packs, where it accepts current fastest and ages slowest. When the pack is cold, ion mobility drops and the car limits DC current to avoid lithium plating. When it's hot, the battery limits power to protect cells. So temperature controls how much of the headline charger power you get actually. Studies and field tests from lab and independent testers show that a properly warmed battery can accept 30 to 50% higher initial kilowatt and cut minutes off a typical fast charge. But timing is everything. Preheat too early and you waste energy cooling later. Preheat too late and the charger will still see a cold pack. Manual preconditioning is the old school method. You turn on preheat or the cabin heat and hope the battery warms before arrival. That works sometimes, but usually it's a blunt instrument. You don't know exactly when the battery will reach the optimal temperature, and you often heat the pack far longer than necessary. The result? Wasted grid energy and sometimes a hotter battery than you wanted, which shortens the high power plateau when you plug in. Meanwhile, navigation-based preconditioning uses the car's route, traffic, and estimated time of arrival to start warming or cooling the pack. It's targeted, efficient, and timed to arrive the pack in the sweet spot. Why timing matters with real numbers. A mid-range EV on a 150 kW DC charger might see a peak of 140 to 150 kW if the battery is already in the sweet window. If the battery is too cold, that initial power can be limited to 40 to 60 kW on the first minutes until the pack warms, stretching a 10 to 80% session by 10 to 20 minutes. By contrast, targeted preconditioning that brings the pack to the optimal temperature on time, an approach can restore the 140 kW plateau. By contrast, targeted preconditioning that brings the pack to optimal temperatures on approach can restore that 140 kW plateau and shave 5 to 15 minutes off the session. Manufacturers and lab reports show these magnitudes repeatedly, so preconditioning is not theoretical, it's practical time savings. So here's the challenge drivers face. Most cars' UIs bury the preconditioning control, or they only let you turn it on manually. That leads to two bad outcomes. First, drivers toggle preheat for a long time before they leave, wasting several kilowatt-hours of energy and potentially leaving the pack too hot on arrival. Second, drivers leave preconditioning off and arrive with a cold pack, then blame the charger for slow fills. Both options cost time, money, or battery health. Navigation-based preconditioning solves both by starting the thermal work only when needed and finishing it just before plug-in, but only if you enable the right settings and understand the parameters. Let's break down how to optimize preconditioning step by step and why the navigation method wins. Start with your defaults. Many EVs let you set a scheduled charging window and a manual preconditioning toggle. That fixes some problems but not the timing. Scheduled charging gets the battery to a healthy state of charge but not necessarily the right temperature for a random fast charger stop later in the day. Manual preconditioning works only if you judge the timing right, and people are bad at that under stress. Navigation-based preconditioning changes the game because it uses live data, route, distance, traffic, estimated time arrival, and charger location, and sometimes charger power. When the car knows you're heading to a fast charger and roughly when you'll arrive, it can estimate how long the battery needs to be heated to heat the sweet zone. Practically, the car will start the thermal action at T-X minutes, where X is calculated from ambient temperature, battery state of charge, and required temperature delta that lets the battery reach the target temperature just as you reach the stall, minimizing wasted energy. Numbers you can rely on. In cold weather, a typical battery might need roughly 10 to 20 minutes of active heating to move from a near freezing to the optimal window. Depending on pack size and the vehicle's heater power, in moderate climates it's much less, sometimes only a few minutes. Navigation-based systems adjust automatically. In a cold morning, they might start preconditioning 15 to 20 minutes out. On a mild day, they might wait 3 to 5 minutes. That precision cuts wasted energy and ensures you heat the charger ready. But navigation preconditioning isn't magic by itself. You need to set two things right. Allow route sharing or navigate to charger in your car setting, and enable battery preconditioning option tied to navigation. Some cars also let you set a maximum preconditioning temperature to avoid overheating the pack or wasting energy. Use those limits. Set a target pack temperature in the range manufacturers recommend, often shown in the manual or in the car, and let the system do the timing work. Also use the built-in optimize for charging or fast charge mode if your car has it. That often reduces unnecessary cabin heating during preconditioning and focuses energy on the battery itself. That matters because cabin heat can suck multiple kilowatts and interfere with the battery warming process, especially in small cars. Navigation systems will typically prioritize battery temperatures over cabin heat, which again saves energy and time. Here's the key advantage. Navigation-based preconditioning consistently gives you more minutes of high plateau power and fewer minutes of slow warm-up. Put plainly, it converts the charger's potential into usable energy faster. The result is fewer minutes at the charger, less time spent idling with the car plugged in, and lower chance of thermal stress on the battery because the pack is at the right temperature, exactly when it needs to be. In real tests and owner reports, that translate to shaving multiple minutes per charge and improving long-term battery health by avoiding repeated limited power sessions. Let's tie it together with a clear example. Imagine a 300-mile road trip that needs 2 fast stops without navigation preconditioning. Each stop might take 30 to 40 minutes because you lose the first 5 to 15 minutes to warming the battery. With navigation preconditioning, you hit the plateau faster and each stop drops to 20 to 30 minutes. Over the trip, you save 10 to 20 minutes and the car has undergone less thermal stress. The bottom line is this: preconditioning matters and how you trigger it matters even more. Manual preconditioning is better than nothing, but it's blunt and wasteful. Navigation-based preconditioning is precise and efficient because it times thermal work to arrival, saves energy, and preserves charging time as well, and protects the battery. Set your car to share the route with the charging or navigation system. Enable charger preconditioning, set sensible temperature limits, and use optimize for charging if available. Those small settings change the real world of charging stops.